everyone, so it's week 6, I got the week right this time, and still on the MiniMed 640G pump. Just been doing a few checks on it, so the screen's on. So this week I've kind of struggled to think about what I can do, what I can talk about, because nothing has been really eventful, which is a good thing. It's probably a good thing that there's nothing to talk about. I've had no sensor fails, I've had no set fails. SmartGuard's been working really well. So what I'm going to do, and I probably should have done this in the first week or two actually, I'm kind of going to go back in time, but I wanted to just talk about the basics of the pump, because a few people have said to me they're starting insulin pump therapy. This is one of their choices, and they want to know kind of how it works, what a set change is and what a set change looks like, and just how the CGM works and bits and pieces like that. So just the basic stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is a set change. Okay, so these are my infusion sets. They're called the excuse me, MiniMed Mios, and mine are pink. Now blue, pink or clear. I like pink, so I went for the pink. There you go. Looks like a little cupcake. It doesn't at all actually, I don't know why I said that. But it comes in this little plastic case. Everything you need is in here. It's all sterile. It's all nicely packaged away. So you peel off the plastic rubbish, unscrew the top. And I'm going to try and do this quickly because I want to show how quickly it can be done to change a set. And bear in mind this is like once every 2 or 3 days. I think it's every 3 days, but you know, if you want to do it every 2 days, then that's up to you. So you've got your tube, you've got your needle, and you've got like a little sticky plaster as well. So what you do is unravel your tube from around the edge. You want to get everything done like kind of before the needle goes in, just make sure everything's out of the way. There's a little groove on the side, so you just push the tube down there to make sure it's out of the way. Then got a little bit of paper, which is protecting the plaster, so peel off your little spiral of paper. And then you can see you've got your sticky underneath, sticky, and you've got your needle with a tube on top, so a plastic tube. So plastic tube comes off before you put the needle in. So the good thing about these, and why I wanted these ones, is because, as I said before, I don't like needles, so I don't have to push the needle in myself. Basically, you pull something back, 2 little like nodules back on here, push 2 buttons on the side, and it pings inside you. So take off your plastic tube, take off this piece of paper. You've got your 2 plastic, don't have a clue what they're called, grippy things. Pull back your 2 plastic grippy things, and your needle is primed to go inside you. Make sure your tube hasn't kind of dislodged and tried to run off. Next, I've already, excuse my jogging bottoms by the way, I've already taken my old cannula out. As you can see, it's probably nice and red where I've been scratching. So I'm going to go here, I think. Just make sure your tubing is in like a place where you want it to be. So because my pump's going to be in my pocket, tubing will go out this side and go down. If it's like kind of facing this way, then you're going to have it going across your leg. It'll be going back over on the cannula, so it's just kind of thinking ahead about that. So put it in the position you want it to be. 2 little kind of buttons on the side that you're going to press. Let me kneel on the sofa. So you're going to press them, and that will push the needle inside you. There we go. So wait for about, well, a couple of seconds. Just wait for the sticky to stick down. Push the 2 buttons in again and pull back. And your cannula is in. Ooh, excuse my tummy fat there. So your cannula is now in, your tube is in as well. The needle has come out. Needle's still in here, so you need to get rid of this bit. And that's it really. I currently don't need to change my tubing, I'm afraid. So, where's my pump? I'm going to carry on using the tube from the that I've got at the moment. So basically you just clip this on, and one last stage. And this is something that I wasn't taught when I first got an insulin pump. And it's quite an important bit. But you need to prime that cannula, because that cannula has no insulin in it at the moment. So you need to fill that tiny bit of cannula up with insulin. So I'm going to try and show you one here. Go down to reservoir and tubing. This is back to front for me, I can't see it. So go down to fill cannula, and it's got a pre-fill amount in there. So you've got the instructions on the screen, you can't really go wrong. Go to fill. So it's going to fill 0.3 units. Go down to fill now, and it starts filling up your cannula for you. So that's an important bit to remember. But that's it. That's basically a set change. There are different cannulas, different sets that you can use, and on the Medtronic website I'll put details in the description box below, so you can go and have a look. I just wanted to go over the bolus and basal options on the pump and how it's delivered. So at the moment I've got no insulin in my pump, it's literally just run out, so I won't be able to deliver any. But you go into bolus and you've got two choices. You can use the manual bolus. So for example, if you know that you wanted 2 units of insulin, you would literally just pop in that you want 2 units, and then you have 3 options, for how you want that to be delivered. So you can choose deliver bolus, which delivers the insulin straight away. You've got your square bolus, which can be delivered up to 8 hours, so the insulin will be spread out. So you just choose how long you want it to be delivered over. And then you've also got your dual bolus, and that gives you the option of choosing how much insulin you want now and how much you want to be given later. So if I wanted 20% now and 80% later, out of the 2 units I'd be getting 0.4% now and 1.6 later on. And then I would need to decide how long I want that 80% to be spread out. So if I wanted it to be spread out for 2 hours, I've got the option. It goes up to 8 hours. And then you would just hit deliver bolus. So that's quite simple. The bolus wizard calculates how much insulin you need based on your blood glucose level, your carbohydrate intake, and then it will give you a bolus amount. So let's just do a quick example. I can't remember what my sugars are. I think they're like 9. If I was going to eat 40 grams of carbs, so it would give me 4 units. And then you have the same options again: deliver straight away, a square bolus, or a dual. So it's exactly the same. Can't do any because I haven't got any insulin. The basal rate you can change. So every hour you have a different basal rate. Well, I have a different basal rate anyway. Everyone's different. But for example, if you wanted to exercise and you wanted to reduce your basal rate, say for example for 2 hours, you've got that option. So if I wanted to reduce it by 20%, I would put the percentage down to 80 and I would preview it. So that means that for the next 2 hours, 20% will be knocked off of my hourly basal rate. So you can see that because I have a different basal rate each hour, the units per hour are different, but it just means that 20% has been taken off. Same if you're ill. So when people are ill and their blood sugars go high, you can put your basal rate up. So for example, if you wanted to go up to 150%, you'll then be adding 50% onto your normal basal rate for however many hours you want. So on there it's just 2 hours. So I will have 2.1 units and 1.95 units. And those are the different options you have for the basal rates. So depending on what you're doing, if you're ill, if you're drinking alcohol, people use different basal rates for different things. I realised that that's quite a quick lesson, and sometimes it's quite difficult to understand the basal rates. It took me quite a while actually, but I'll try and find some descriptions that explain it a little bit better than I can and put them in the description box below. But hopefully that just shows you how the bolus and basal options work on the pump. Okay, last thing I did want to show you, but I'm not going to be able to, is what happens when you upload your reports from your pump and from your glucose meter. So this is the 6th week that I've had this pump, and I still haven't been able to upload my reports. I'm going to phone up Medtronic tomorrow to see if they can help me. I've had all sorts of problems with Java. Once I figured it out, I plugged in my meter and it said there was no data on it, though I've been using it for 5 weeks. I went to see my consultant last week. He couldn't get it working. I went to see him again this week. We tried again. We almost got it working, but couldn't do it. And my consultant is really clever. He is the gadget king. He knows everything about everything to do with technology, and he couldn't figure it out. He sent me home with some dongles and bits and pieces. Still hasn't worked. Spent about an hour with my other half trying to figure it out. So last resort is tomorrow, when I'm going to phone up Medtronic and see if they can help me. Because I really wanted to show like what my data looks like on a computer screen and how helpful it would be to pick out patterns, etc. And as I said, I haven't been able to do it for 6 weeks. So hopefully if I can figure that out, or if Medtronic can help me with that problem, then I'll be able to show you next week. But if you do want to see what CareLink looks like, which is the software that you upload your data to, then check out John on Twitter, who is, as I keep telling, and I keep forgetting, at mm640g, I'm sure it is. He's recently like uploaded a load of data and has filmed it, so you can take a look at his and see what it looks like. But fingers crossed, I'm going to be able to figure it out soon. I'm not a technophobe. Like, I'm pretty good with technology. Usually I can just pick it up, don't need to read instructions and just figure it out. But this is really kind of like, for me, I have absolutely no idea how to access my data. 6 weeks in, it's kind of something that I would have thought would be really simple. Apparently not. Might see next week. You never know.